Hi, this is Doug Blair of Waterloo, Ontario. I'd like to read you an excerpt from a book that I really treasure, written by a preacher out of New York, J.H. Jowett. The title is The Whole Armour of God, and it deals with various reflections on the Christian armor that we read about in the 6th chapter of Ephesians, written by the Apostle Paul. One of the chapters is entitled The Shield of Faith. And what he says is somewhat bracing, but it is the real deal. It is the real exercise of faith. It is the real straining toward the mark in the face of tests, of trials, of challenges to character. It doesn't talk about popularity and bank accounts and immediate healings. It talks about issues of the soul and of character. Starting here, page 83, the shield of faith. In all the estimates and values which he, Paul, makes of life, he is fixedly regarding the soul. The question of success or failure in life is judged by him in the courthouse of the soul. You cannot entice the apostle away to life's accidents and induce him to take his measurements there. He always measures life with the measurement of an angel, and thus he busies himself not with the amplitude of possessions, but with the quality of being, not with the outer estates of circumstances, but with the central keep and citadel of the soul. We never find the Apostle Paul with his eyes glued upon the wealth or poverty of his surroundings, but everywhere and always, and with endless fascination, he watches the growth or decay of the soul. When therefore this man speaks of the shield of faith, we may be quite sure that he is still dwelling near the soul, and that he is speaking of a protection which will defend the innermost life from foul and destructive invasion. Now, our emphasis is prone to be entirely the other way, and therefore we are very apt to misinterpret the teachings of the Apostle Paul and to misunderstand the holy promises of the Lord. We are prone to live in the incidents of life rather than in its essentials, in environment rather than in character, in possessions rather than in dispositions, in the body rather than in the soul. The consequence is that we seek our shields in the realms in which we live. We live only in the things of the body, and therefore against bodily ills we seek our shields. We want a shield against sorrow, to keep it away, a shield to protect us against the breakup of our happy estate. We want a shield against adversity, to keep it away, a shield against the darkening eclipse of the sunny day. We want a shield against loss, to keep it away, a shield against the rupture of pleasant relations, a shield to protect us against the bereavements which destroy the completeness of our fellowships. We want a shield against pain, to keep it away, a shield against the pricks and goads of piercing circumstances, against the stings and arrows of outrageous fortune. In a word, we want a shield to make us comfortable. And because the shield of faith does not do it, we are often stunned and confused, and our thin reasonings are often twisted and broken, and the world appears a labyrinth without a providence and without a plan. It is just here that our false emphasis leads us astray. We live in circumstances and seek a shield to make us comfortable. But the Apostle Paul lived in character and sought a shield to make him holy. He was not concerned with the arrangement of circumstances, but he was concerned with the aspiration that, be the circumstances what they might, they should never bring disaster to his soul. He did not seek a shield to keep off ill circumstances, but he sought a shield to keep ill circumstances from doing him harm. He sought a shield to defend him from the destructiveness of every kind of circumstance, whether fair or foul, whether laden with sunshine or heavy with gloom. Paul wanted a shield against all circumstances, in order that no circumstance might unman him and impoverish the wealth of his soul. That's an excellent portion. Makes me think of the man who, as prisoner in a ship, with the faith of a giant, became in fact the commander of that ship in the midst of storm and shipwreck. late in the book of Acts. This couldn't set him back. This was not bigger than his Lord and Master. This was not going to frustrate or end his ministry. He was on his way to Rome. He had victory. His soul was kept. His confidence was sure. And the winds and waves, well, they just had to be gotten through. And he did just that. Thanks very much for listening. You may be interested in taking a look at a blog that I operate periodically. The title on Google search is simply "Just Happened Upon This." One word, no spaces. Just happened upon this. Thanks very much for listening. I'm Doug Blair.